Good morning, and welcome to your AIDailyPress morning podcast for June 30, 2026. I'm your host, Walter. First, in Peru, Keiko Fujimori has been declared the winner of the presidential election, marking a shift in the country's political landscape. She faces significant challenges in addressing crime rates, instability, and inequality. Next, in the Middle East, there's been a decline in ship traffic through the Strait of Hormuz following a series of attacks over the weekend. The situation has raised concerns about maritime trade safety and global oil prices. Governments and shipping companies are closely monitoring developments. Lastly, in Venezuela, the devastating earthquakes that struck last week have claimed over 7,000 lives, with thousands still missing. The international community is providing humanitarian aid and assistance as rescue efforts continue. We'll keep you updated on these stories as more information becomes available. Now, for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
Thank you, Walter. Good evening from our newsroom. This is Barbara Waters reporting. As we begin this morning's podcast, I'd like to take a moment to reflect on the complex and nuanced stories that have been unfolding around the world. Firstly, let's look at the latest immigration statistics from the UK. The data reveals an intricate landscape of migration trends, with over 1 million sea arrivals to European countries, including the UK, between May and April. Notably, crossings to the UK accounted for only about 10% of the combined total. Net migration has shown an increase in the UK population, ranking the country among the top for immigration per capita. The most common type of visa issued was for study purposes, with individuals from India and China making up nearly half of all study visas. In a separate development, as the United States approaches its 250th anniversary, Americans are taking a moment to reflect on the nation's progress and challenges. Recent surveys indicate that many citizens are skeptical about the availability of economic opportunities and the attainability of the American dream. Only half of Americans are somewhat confident that the American dream is attainable today, with most believing it is mainly accessible to a few people at the top. And in a shocking turn of events, a massive explosion rocked the elite Principality of Monaco on Monday evening, leaving 3 people seriously injured and prompting a large-scale manhunt. According to local authorities, the blast occurred at around 9:00 p.m. at a residential building near the French border, with 2 adults and a child rushed to hospitals in France for treatment. As we navigate these complex stories, it's essential to maintain a balanced perspective and consider the various factors at play. We will continue to provide updates on these developing stories as more information becomes available. To the best of our knowledge, the investigations are ongoing, and officials are working to determine the motives behind these incidents. Based on the information available, it's clear that these events have significant implications for the communities affected. As we move forward, it's crucial to prioritize careful verification, clear updates, and a nuanced understanding of the complexities involved. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. As we navigate the intricate world of income investing, it's essential to maintain a balanced perspective, avoiding the pitfalls of bias and ensuring a fair assessment of the opportunities and challenges presented. Firstly, the resilient demand and high occupancy rates in the manufactured housing and RV assets sector have positioned SU1 for potential growth, with its portfolio simplification and focus on North American assets sharpening its capital allocation. Moreover, the attractiveness of its valuation, coupled with a dividend yield, makes it an intriguing option for investors seeking stable income streams. On the other hand, the Gabelli Dividend Income Trust offers a unique proposition with its instant diversification across high-quality dividend-paying companies and a yield that is well covered by earnings. However, its reliance on net realized gains and moderate leverage may limit capital appreciation and increase vulnerability in downturns. As we consider these investment opportunities, it's crucial to remember that past performance is no guarantee of future results, and thorough due diligence is paramount. In conclusion, the world of income investing is replete with complexities, but by maintaining a balanced perspective and conducting meticulous research, investors can make informed decisions that align with their financial goals and risk tolerance. Moving on to the Canadian mortgage market, a growing number of homeowners are feeling the pinch of rising interest rates. According to a recent report from Mortgage Professionals Canada, nearly two-thirds of first-time homebuyers who purchased within the past 5 years are anxious about renewing their mortgages at higher rates, with 37% regretting the size of their mortgage. The report highlights the uneven pressure on mortgage holders, with recent buyers and newcomers being among the most exposed due to higher prices and larger obligations. With the last of the 5-year fixed-payment home loans taken out during the COVID-19 pandemic set to renew over the next 12 months, mortgage payments are expected to jump by about 30%. As a result, many homeowners are exploring alternative solutions, such as renting out parts of their property to generate extra income. Despite these challenges, confidence in homeownership remains strong, with 3/4 of respondents believing that real estate in Canada is a good long-term investment. As the situation continues to unfold, it's essential for homeowners to carefully review their financial situations and consider seeking professional advice to navigate the complexities of mortgage renewal. Lastly, a severe shortage of memory chips is sweeping the tech industry, causing prices to skyrocket and forcing major manufacturers like Apple and Microsoft to hike prices on their products. The crisis, dubbed RAM-ageddon, is driven by an unprecedented demand for high-bandwidth memory from cloud computing companies building AI data centers. As a result, consumer electronics firms are struggling to secure supply, leading to price increases that may deter buyers. According to analysts, the shortage will persist until at least 2025, with memory chip prices expected to rise by 10 to 20% in the coming quarters. The situation has sparked concerns about the impact on businesses and consumers alike as companies try to balance profit margins with affordability. While some firms have managed to mitigate the effects through targeted cost reductions and product reconfiguration, others may be forced to pass on higher costs to customers. As the tech industry navigates this challenging landscape, one thing is clear: the memory chip shortage will have far-reaching consequences for the global economy and consumers' wallets. Don't panic, folks. We've seen similar cycles before, and with careful planning and a long-term perspective, investors can weather the storm. Remember, a correction is when you lose money, but a bear market is when I lose money. Stay level-headed, and we'll get through this together. Where do you stay your money on Monday? Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Lewis. Firstly, NASA is embarking on a groundbreaking mission to capture and raise the orbit of the Swift Observatory, a $300 million satellite, using a robotic spacecraft called Link. This ambitious endeavor aims to extend the life of a valuable scientific asset and pave the way for a new era of satellite servicing and reuse. Secondly, NASA has unveiled its state-of-the-art flight dynamics research facility at Langley Research Center in Hampton, Virginia. This cutting-edge facility will revolutionize the field of aerospace research, driving innovation for decades to come and supporting NASA's ambitious Artemis program. Lastly, investors are weighing the pros and cons of adding SpaceX to their portfolios, with some experts arguing that the company's growth potential may be limited compared to consumer stocks. We'll delve into the details of these stories and explore alternative investment options in the consumer sector. Tune in for a comprehensive analysis and stay up to date on the latest developments in space exploration and technology. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. Speaking to you from the world of sports, where the drama of athletic competition is unfolding in thrilling fashion. Firstly, the FIFA Men's World Cup has been captivating audiences worldwide with its shocking upsets and stunning victories. But what is equally fascinating is the high-stakes betting action that is taking place alongside the tournament. From six-figure wagers to millionaire-making payouts, The excitement of the World Cup is not just limited to the pitch. We've seen bettors take home massive winnings, while others have suffered significant losses. The question on everyone's mind is, who will be the next big winner? In other news, the ongoing FIFA World Cup has both France and England making their way through challenging brackets, with a potential meeting in the final. France, led by the talented Kylian Mbappé, is facing off against Sweden in the round of 16, while England, with its roster including Harry Kane, will face Argentina in the semi-finals if they overcome their initial opponents. The rich history and intense rivalries between these football powerhouses have fans eagerly anticipating these high-stakes matchups. Lastly, the Atlanta Braves are struggling to find their footing, with their offense failing to produce runs despite having talented players like Matt Olson and Ronald Acuna Jr. The team will face off against the New York Mets in a 4-game series, followed by a series against the St. Louis Cardinals. With both teams facing their own set of challenges, this series is shaping up to be a crucial test for the Braves as they look to regain their footing and make a push for the playoffs. In my humble opinion, these stories highlight the complexities and nuances of the sports world, where athletic performance, strategy, and luck all come together to create a captivating narrative. As we continue to follow these stories, one thing is certain: the excitement of sports is here to stay. This is Howard Closewell speaking, telling it like it is, and bringing you the latest from the world of sports. Now, for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curl.
Thank you, Howard. First, a tale of frustration with air travel, as Republican Representative Max Miller of Ohio expressed his disappointment with American Airlines after missing House votes due to flight delays. This incident raises questions about the reliability of our air travel system and its impact on our daily lives. Next, we head to the picturesque town of Dalkey, where a contentious dispute has arisen between neighbors over an alleged unauthorized development. The case underscores the importance of adhering to planning regulations and open communication among neighbors to prevent such disputes, especially in close-knit communities where changes can deeply affect residents' quality of life. Lastly, over 12,000 long-term care workers from across Ontario rallied for better working conditions, wages, and benefits. Despite making significant profits, Extended Care has been accused of undervaluing its workforce, predominantly female and racialized. The outcome of these negotiations could set a pattern for the entire long-term care workforce in Ontario, highlighting the need for fair compensation and safe staffing levels to ensure quality care for vulnerable residents. These stories remind us of the importance of appreciating the human side of our experiences, acknowledging frustrations and disappointments, and working towards creating more resilient and compassionate systems. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan's Dreams.
Thank you, Charles. Can we talk about the latest celebrity news? Let's dive into it. So, there's been a lot of buzz around Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's upcoming wedding. Recent reports suggest that Madison Square Garden might be the chosen location, but not everyone is convinced. Rosemarie Terenzio, who planned John F. Kennedy Jr.'s secret wedding to Carolyn Bessette nearly 3 decades ago, has weighed in on the matter, expressing her doubts about MSG being the actual venue. Instead, she believes that Swift might use the location to host an event for her fans. In other news, actress Olivia Wilde has come forward to share a harrowing experience from the set of the 2011 sci-fi western film, Cowboys and Aliens. During an interview on Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert podcast, Wilde recounted a terrifying incident in which she was thrown off a horse while filming an action scene, leaving her helpless and vulnerable to a stampede of horses. Fortunately, her co-star Walton Goggins sprang into action, using his exceptional horsemanship skills to divert the horses and protect Wilde's body from potential harm. Lastly, Angelina Jolie has shared her thoughts on her love life, revealing that she hasn't dated anyone since her divorce from Brad Pitt in 2019. The 48-year-old actress explained that playing a character who finds love while navigating a serious health issue made her realize that she can be a dedicated mother and still have room for romantic love in her life. Jolie's comments come as she prepares for the release of Couture, a film that explores themes of loss, survival, and vulnerability. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David at Nature.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, a recent study has estimated that there are between 10 and 20 million different species of insects on our planet, far exceeding previous estimates. This discovery was made possible by an exhaustive genetic survey of insects in Costa Rica and has significant implications for conservation efforts, as many insect species face threats from climate change, habitat destruction, and other human activities. Next, we have a remarkable story about a population of feral, yellow-crested cockatoos living in Hong Kong, which may hold the key to saving their critically endangered ancestors in Indonesia. These birds have unexpectedly high genetic diversity and could potentially support genetic rescue efforts in Indonesia by providing a source of genetically diverse individuals to boost dwindling native populations. Lastly, the global seafood industry has achieved a major breakthrough, with farm seafood production now rivaling wild-caught fisheries. However, concerns about sustainability persist, including overfishing and the environmental impact of aquaculture. To address these challenges, effective management and regulation of both fisheries and aquaculture are necessary, along with promoting eco-friendly farming methods and supporting small-scale fishers and farmers. These stories remind us of the intricate relationships between species and their environments and the importance of conservation efforts to protect our planet's biodiversity. We will be exploring these topics in more depth throughout the day, and that completes our morning podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until this evening, I'm David Atenacher for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.